Chapter 17, Signals from the Hidden Light. We built a light among the stars. Our ancestors didn't just survive exile, they carried wisdom that transformed the world. Perhaps that's why we're here, why we were guided to the stars. Not to hide, but to light the way. Rabbi Sarah Goldstein, New Zion's Council, 2258. Rabbi Sarah Goldstein stood before the observation window in New Zion's Central Synagogue, her aquiline face illuminated by the glow of the great menorah that sprawled across the L5 Lagrange point. A century and a half had passed since she had helped establish this haven among the stars. Now, at a youthful, life-extended 183, she watched as transport vessels wove between the menorah's 7 branches, each carrying new settlers to their assigned habitats. 50 million, she whispered, touching the window. We barely reached 50 million in all this time. Most of our original 5 million migrants have had their maximum allotment of 6 children. It wasn't failure. New Zion had thrived, its culture rich and vibrant, but she had hoped for more. Half had come from Israel, half from the diaspora, just as David Cohen had forecast all those years ago. Numbers aren't everything, Rabbi. David appeared beside her, now a distinguished man of 70. He had served as her right hand through decades of building their orbital nation. Look at what we've built. The great menorah pulsed with energy, its 7 branches housing distinct but interconnected communities. Each branch had developed its own character, one devoted to study and scholarship, another to arts and culture, others to technology, agriculture, and governance. Yet all remained bound by their shared heritage and purpose. The photoactive surfaces still amaze me, Sarah said, watching as the external walls of distant habitats shifted to display scenes from Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and other beloved places left behind. A piece of home, always with us. But there was tension in her voice, and David knew why. 3 days ago, their quantum sensors had detected something, patterns in the cosmic background that defied natural explanation. The council had been debating their response ever since. The signals, David said quietly, they're growing stronger. Sarah nodded. Like nothing we've encountered before. Even the Cookist's instruments have detected them. She turned to face her old friend. Do you remember what the first settlers asked when we told them we were building a new homeland in space? What if we need to run again? David quoted from memory. They wanted to know if we were just building another temporary refuge. And now? Sarah gestured toward the data streams flowing across nearby screens. These signals, they're not random, David. The patterns match gematria calculations, Hebrew numerical values, as if someone out there is speaking in our oldest tongue. The implications were staggering. Either another civilization had independently developed patterns matching ancient Hebrew mathematics, or Rabbi Goldstein? A young voice interrupted their contemplation. Rachel Cohen, David's granddaughter and head of New Zion's Quantum Communications Division, approached with urgency in her steps. The signal analysis is complete. Sarah straightened, her authority undiminished by age. Tell me. Rachel activated a holographic display. Complex mathematical patterns floated in the AIR, ALONG-SIDETHEIRHEBREW equivalents. It's a clear sequence corresponding to the first verses of Genesis, but there's more. Embedded in the quantum signature is a complete technological blueprint. Instructions for something. We're still decoding it. Or Haganuz, Sarah whispered. The hidden light of creation, spoken of in ancient texts. Could it be? David studied the patterns. After decades in New Zion, he had learned to bridge their spiritual and technological heritage. If we respond, if we break cosmic silence, there's no going back. The source is about 642 light-years away, but the dark forest has never been darker, Sarah finished, but neither has the light been clearer. She turned back to the window, watching the menorahs glow. Call the council, all of them, not just the leadership. Every soul in New Zion must have a voice in this. Within hours, New Zion's unique governance system engaged. Through their enhanced full-spectrum interfaces, modified over the years to incorporate elements of Jewish mystical tradition, 30 million minds joined in deliberation. In homes, schools, and synagogues throughout the 7 branches, people gathered to study the signals and share their thoughts. The central synagogue filled with council members and community leaders. Sarah took her place at the center, surrounded by screens showing faces from across New Zion. The collected wisdom of their people, rabbis, scientists, artists, and workers, flowed through their shared network. We face a choice, Sarah began, her voice carrying to every corner of their orbital nation. Since the dawn of the singularity, humanity has hidden in the dark forest, fearing what lurks between the stars. But our people have faced darkness before, in Egypt, in Babylon, in every exile. We carried our light. The data streams shifted, displaying the signals in their full complexity. These patterns speak in the language of our ancestors. They offer knowledge beyond anything we've achieved. The choice before us is simple but profound. Do we remain hidden, or do we raise our light as a beacon among the stars? Rachel Cohen's voice cut through the discussions. There's something else in the signals. A location, coordinates for a star system just beyond the Oort cloud, and a time frame. Whatever sent these signals expects an answer within 50 days. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. 50 days, the time between Exodus and Revelation, between leaving Egypt and receiving the Torah at Sinai. Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the weight of history. When she opened them, her decision was clear. We've spent 50 years building more than a refuge, she said. We built a light among the stars. Our ancestors didn't just survive exile, they carried wisdom that transformed the world. Perhaps that's why we're here, why we were guided to the stars, not to hide, but to light the way. She turned to David. Begin the preparations. If we're to break cosmic silence, let it be with the full voice of our people. Rachel, focus our quantum arrays. When we respond, we'll do it in the language of both our fathers and our future. Hebrew mathematics encoded in quantum signals. Throughout New Zion, 5 million souls resonated with the decision. The menorah blazed brighter, its 7 branches pulsing with renewed purpose. In labs and study halls, they began composing their response. Ancient prayers merged with quantum equations as they prepared to reach beyond the boundaries that had contained humanity since the singularity. Sarah Goldstein stood at the window one last time, watching the light of their civilization shine against the darkness. We are still the people of the book, she whispered, but now our pages are written in starlight. The clock began counting down. 50 days to prepare their answer. 50 days until New Zion would either open a door to cosmic communion or draw the attention of forces they couldn't comprehend. But they would face it as they had faced every challenge since leaving Earth, together, carrying the light of their heritage into an uncertain future.